Hello, hello. It's it's been a while since I've last since it's been a while since you know, streaming for I think it's 6 days, I think. So yeah, just give me a second to prepare, then we'll go. Hello, hello, welcome to the stream. Mhm. Uh, ba- 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 Just give me a second, guys, and we'll start. Hello, guys. Welcome to the stream. Just give me a second. Just seconds. Let me just prepare for a little bit so we can go in Photoshop smoothly. I hope with no interruptions. Let me just take a piss. Hello, hello again. So I think we are ready now. So let me just switch the scene. Okay, there we go. So let me start and record now. There we go. Okay. Um, where do I start? Oh, hello, welcome. And if you haven't seen the new trailer from the dev team, this official art is from that. So This art is made by real by Daz, so I'm gonna put the link in the description, and I'm just gonna put it on chat if you want to check it out. So that's the link. So yeah, let's get started. So first, let's do his let's do this cap. So all we all we're gonna do is just gonna trace the shape of his cap like we always do, and then we can have the base. So let me just adjust it for a bit. There we go. Hmm. Maybe why does this why is there a curve inward here? Let me just do this. I think. Hope this fixes it. Nope. Maybe like this. Oh. The hair will cover up that, so now we have the shape of his hat now. So all we need is some texture like this, and then we're just gonna transform it and then give it some warp action. Maybe like this. I guess this works. Now, the next step is just to recolor the texture like this, and then give it some shading. So we're just gonna do this. Maybe like this. And there we go. And then I'm just gonna do in this part too, because the hat is touching something, and that something is the hair or his head, just like this. And then I'm just gonna do some, not too much though, just gonna do some little details. There we go. And I think we're good to go. So next is the brim. So just gonna do the same thing. So we're just gonna trace and then put some textures, or I think it's or just some single texture. I mean, if you want to do multiple, you can do so. And it's not picking up the color. There we go. And then just this texture. Again, all we all we're doing is just warping the texture, just wrapping the texture around the shape like so. And then we're just gonna recolor it like this and then do some shading. So this is the brim. Uh, I don't really get the. Maybe it's just it just bends a little. That's because it has this bump, maybe. So let's try replicating that. Maybe I think it's like this. Yeah. So just gonna do some. I'm just gonna replicate the hardness. Like cell shading, but not cell shading at the same time. Like that, I guess. Yeah, I think that works. Just gonna do another layer and then just gonna do this because I believe that the brim is bent. There we go. Maybe we'll put some highlights like that, and for the hat too. There we go. And I think we're done with the hat. So the next step is to do his hair. So we have this Karen hair over here. So all we need to do is just going to do this part. Only need this part. And we can use this part if ever needed. So we're just gonna reserve it for later if it's needed. So we have this. I'm just gonna desaturate it, and then all we need to do is just warp the hair so it will mimic excuse me, so it will mix boyfriend's hair. maybe like this. I'm just gonna lift it up a little. There we go. And then we're just gonna do the same thing to the hair, to the other parts of the hair. So yeah. Oops. There we go. And then I'm just gonna do the other part too. Like I said, we're just gonna do this to all of his hair. And then I'm just gonna do the bangs and then his sideburns. There we go. So I'm just gonna mask it so we can see what it looks like. Just some preview. Mhm. So let's proceed to the sideburns, shall we? Oh, it's like, oh, so it curves outward. Then the other one too. Like this, and then do some masking action. There we go. And then I think we can now proceed to coloring his hair now. So all we need to do is just group M and then like this. Then all we need to do is just do some adjustment layer. Some adjustment layer action. Maybe like this. Can I invert? No, I can't. There we go. And then I'm just gonna do the same thing to the sideburns. There we go. And I think we can now let me just mask it first before we proceed on shading. to this. Why is it not working? What? Uh, what is happening? Why is it not working? Is it because of the hat? Uh, It's the hair. Oof, what? It's what is happening? It's both of them. Huh. Yep, it's passed through. What? What? Oh, I'm just gonna. I'm going to solve this, so just give me a second. If I do this, it erases. Oh, it erases. What? Oh, stupid. So before the color was gray, so I'm just gonna do that again. Just pick the color gray, and because of that, it didn't work. But now, if we're going to default the colors like this, there we go. Now it works. Oh, I was stressing there for a second. So let's just mask this out. There we go. So I'm just gonna do this. And then I'm just gonna fill in the gaps between his hat. Like this. There we go. And then maybe we can proceed on shading this thing. No, it's it's not connected, so let me just fill in the gaps. There we go. And then let's proceed on shading. So let's first, oops. Let's first shade the sideburns like this. Then I'm just gonna use some blend if so the shadow will look natural, I hope. Maybe like this. And I'm just gonna do another layer of the exposure layer. And then I'm just gonna do this below the hat because hat is touching sideburns like that. I'm just gonna do this. Just dabbing it. There we go. And then we're just gonna do the same thing on his bangs. It's mm, I like this better. So we're just gonna do the same thing to his bangs. You might be wondering why did not do this part, the other bang, because this bang is this bang is behind the face. So just gonna do that later. First, we're just gonna do some shading. Maybe let's put some highlights while we're at it too, like this. Not too much. And then I'm just gonna use blend if on both layers. So hoping they will look they will look natural. There we go. Now that we have completed his hair and sideburns, maybe we can now proceed on his face. So first, let me just trace the shape of his face. Just gonna do the ear too while we're at it. Maybe a little adjustment. Is it needed? I think we're good. So we have this, and then we need some texture, then some shading. Just gonna wrap it around his face. There we go. And then just gonna recolor the texture. So before we go proceed on shading, we're just gonna need first do the facial features. So we can, have some guide. There we go. And then I'm just gonna do the mono eyebrow. So maybe I'm going to cover the eyebrows because eyebrows are not really meant to you know, are not really meant to cover the hat and the hair. So I'm just gonna do it like this. Then we change it into something grayish. So we can shade his eyebrow. So let's just do it first and then do his mouth. And then for the eyes, all we need to do is just some shine. Just like that. There we go. Just gonna do the same thing to the other eye. There we go. And then all we need is his mouth. So we're just gonna do that. Mm, maybe like that. And then I think we need to adjust his jaw because the mouth is open because the mouth is open like this, or we're just gonna give it a little space. Maybe like this. Yeah, that looks good. So all we need is some thong. What thong? It's tongue. So all we need is this tongue. Just gonna do it like this. And then some texture and then some shading. So because it's his mouth. We're just gonna need a darker shading because there is we can't really get a light source for his mouth. There we go. And then I think we're good to go on shading his face. So let's start with that. Just gonna need these things first. Let's just do and mask out the head like this. I'm just gonna give some extension in his sideburns because it's not enough. Maybe a little more like that. Then let's continue on shading. Just gonna erase it because it looks like he's closing his eyes. If you get what I mean. It's closing one fourth way. Just gonna need add some new shading for his mouth and his eyes. Like this. There we go. Oh, we need to shade the ear too. I forgot. Mm, is it like this? I think so. Just gonna give the ear some hard edges. There we go. Yep, just like that. And we need to do this bang first. So we're just gonna copy this. Like that. And all we need to do is just shade it. There we go. He looks, boyfriend here looks cute. So looks like we are done with this face. I'm just gonna group them all together. And maybe we can proceed to his body now. So I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna do is all I need to do is just trace it, you know, again, because that's what we do, just like this. There we go, and then just gonna make a shape out of it, and then some texture. And there we go. Just gonna recolor it, and then we're just gonna do some shading. Let me just trace this. Just trace this belly. Mm. Mm, looks like we can't really complete shading his shirt. So, because we need this hand, so let's do the hand first. The arm, rather, his left arm. There we go. And then we're just gonna need the skin texture again for his entire arm. Just gonna wrap it around his arm too. There we go. They're just gonna recolor it. So we're just gonna do is trace his fingers. Like this. I hope it works. So just gonna do this here too. And here. There we go. And then let's not forget about his thumb too. There we go. And then we're just gonna shade the entire arm to his hand. There we go. There we go, and I think all we need is the mic. So I have this golden mic. So what we're just gonna do is just rotate it like this, and then I'm just gonna mask it out from here. Because I want top the top part of his mic to be bigger so we can replicate the original artwork. Just like that. Just gonna make it bigger here. There we go. And I'm just gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna mask it out. Like that. So maybe just gonna do the bottom layer because it doesn't look right. Maybe like this. Here too. I'm just gonna make it not too much. Maybe like that. I don't really. Yeah, I guess that works. All we need to do is just gonna recolor the mic. So we're just gonna pick this color and then use it to recolor the mic, just like so, and then some shading. like this. There we go. And then maybe we can do some reflection action. So I'm just gonna recolor the parts where the skin is reflected to the mic, which is everywhere. There we go. Are we missing something yet? Oh yeah, the wireless mic. So all we need to do is just trace it. That's it. And then just gonna do some shadows. And it looks like it's going to be a long one to shade. And it's fine. It's just going to take up some time. Um, Let me just adjust it first. Looks like the pet is gone alright. Yeah, that looks good. So we're just gonna make a shape out of it, and then we're just gonna do some masking so it won't overlap, just like that. And just gonna extend the wire, and then some shading. There we go, and then some some highlights. There we go. So we're just gonna group arm, and then we're just gonna go back and shading the shirt. And before that, we need this symbol first. Just like that. Now we can proceed on shading the shirt. There we go. Now let's proceed on doing this. The the skin, his belly. So just gonna do this, and then like this. Then do some shading. There we go. Just close this. Oh, oops, looks like I'm missing a texture here. There we go. Now it's now it's looking good. And now all we need is the legs, and then the shoe. And then we're going to be done. So before we do that, let me just adjust the skin tone first because he looks really pale and we don't want that. So I'm just gonna do this. Yeah, just like that. Now he doesn't look really pale. So we're just gonna do that to the arms too and the belly, just like that. And where is the arm? There we go. So let's proceed to the legs now. So let me hide the body first. There we go. So we can now turn them back on. And then we need this texture. Because I believe this, I think these are denim. He's wearing denim. There we go. Then all we need is just some shading. There we go. And then I'm just gonna shade the entire pants. go. Just going to give it some highlights. Just like that. And then let's go and proceed to his left left shoe. There we go. And then we're just gonna need this texture for his shoe. Is that is that a hole? Is that a hole? So maybe we can just, mask it out. There we go. And we're just gonna do this, the lace. There we go. So I'm just gonna need this cotton texture. There we go. Now let's shade the shoe now. There we go. And I think we can do some highlights. There we go. And then all we need is the sole now. This is some strangely shaped sole I've ever seen. There we go. Then I'm just gonna do this. Then we can just shade it. There we go. Looks like we are now done with this left shoe. Now all we need is the other shoe now, and then we are done. So let's get started now and trace his last shoe. So all we need is this texture again. Just gonna need some rotation and some warp action. And then just gonna trace the shoelace first so we can have an idea on where to shade only. There we go, and then I'm just gonna use this texture for the shoelaces. And then let's shade the shoelaces first. There we go. And then we can now shade the shoe. Like this. There we go. Now all we need is the sole. Just give it some. Just give it some, highlights first. There we go. And then the sole. Let me trace the new grounds letter first. There we go. And looks like I need to do some of this. There we go. And then I'm just gonna shade the NG. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm so focused on editing right now. Haven't read your chats. Welcome guys, welcome. Sorry, I've been I've been neglecting you guys. I'm just I'm just locked in right now. There we go. Now all we need is to finish this is to shade the soul. Hmm. There we go. I think we are now done. Let us see. Yep, looks like we ain't missing nothing. Hello, hello, welcome to the stream, Muhammad. Is that how you pronounce Muhammad Bara? Welcome, welcome. Sorry, sorry I'm not talking with you guys. I'm just locked in right now. So we are now done with boyfriend. Now all we need to do is put him on a background. Looks like this will do. So just gonna do this. Gonna put some contrast on boyfriend because as you can see on the background, the the background is too had too much contrast, so we're just gonna replicate it. And now we need boyfriend to blend with the background. So as you can see, the background is full of red. So just gonna do that to him. Just gonna give him some red, just like that. Or, or we're just gonna, or we can do, or what we can do is edit the background. So we're just gonna edit the background instead. Maybe let's do this because Boyfriend is too much vibrant right now. And then after that, just gonna copy, just gonna make a duplicate of him, and then gonna flip him vertically so we can have our own reflection, just like this. And then I'm just gonna make it blurry because just like that. And then we need some shadows, and because BF is not on the ground and is currently jumping, I'm just gonna do some faint shadows like that. And then I wanted to then I want to make the background uh, a little blurry, so BF is the only one will be focused like that. There we go. Now all we need is some camera raw filter, and then we're good to go. So let me just do that.